Hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Chris Hughes.
And I'm Bobby Trippett.
And today we're going to be talking about 1984's Surf 2.
Right here on the Mighty Dildo, sticking it to you like always.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Spooky ain't got no real poetry.
Hello, pizza man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
You could have received it once in a while. And maybe Daddy would decide to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get creepy. And more.
So welcome to the summer sequel month.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, are we kicking it off with a real classic. A viewer request from multiple different people. Surf 2. I would say one of the most requested movies in Grindbin history.
Thanks, guys.
Evil listeners.
Now, I don't know why. And if there's a lot of people out there that like this movie, I'd just like to say that this is a podcast. We like to have fun with things.
You know, we came here to have a good time, and we're feeling so attacked right now.
You know, you put us through Lunch Wagon. You put us through Jekyll and Hyde. Thanks, Chuck. You put us...
Black Devil Doll.
No, that was just Man on his own. Man on his own put me through Black Devil Doll from Hell. That was before...
That was man working out some issues.
Yeah, wait, where is Man, by the way?
Lo
That
and
fucker. Don't worry, he won't hear this. I don't think Man listens to the show. But he is currently on tour. He's actually not. He's at his house right now, but he said he was too busy to record with us this
He's on a
week.
tour of his house right now.
Yeah, so everybody, please give Man some shit on Twitter and tell him, you know what, they needed you there for Surf 2. And by the way, man, if you are listening, I'm going to strap you in a fucking chair and make you watch this goddamn movie, because fuck you for missing it. I hate this goddamn fucking thing. This is, oh boy, this will be a challenge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's more bin than grind this week.
You know, here we are in our summer sequel month. We're starting it off strong with a new theme month, and we picked this movie that everybody's been telling us we gotta watch. You gotta watch Surf 2. Oh my God, Surf 2 on the Grindbin. And then I'm watching it going like, have I just lost my lust for life? Like, have I just lost any love I used to have of these type of movies?
So welcome to the final episode of the Grind Bin.
Yeah, I'd like to say,
It's been a pleasure, everybody.
even though we have other episodes recorded, goodbye forever.
So you're saying you didn't like the art in this movie, the film style, the
Okay.
acting, the script.
I mean, I like Beach Girls. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, okay? I like movies like this. I love Jocks. I love all these other Crown movies. I love stupid comedies. And I'm like, oh, well, Surf 2, highly regarded. We're talking that the New Bev had like a 25th anniversary screening of this with the fucking director there and everything. And, I mean, they're giving this movie like due. It's in multiple...
Cult classic.
Oh, multiple people's like, oh, top 10 cult movies you must see.
Must we?
And I'm just like, am I missing something?
Well, no, you caught up now. You saw it.
You know what I think it is? I think we have a Grindbin low star, okay? And I'm just gonna say any movie with Eddie Deason in it, I'm gonna fucking hate.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't know why he's a person, like why he acts, or who decided that they should put him in more movies. But fucking A. I mean, this guy.
He was barely in this movie, though, and he was still terrible.
Oh, it ruined it for me. When I heard that voice and I saw... And by the way, that fucking hat... That bill on that hat at the end of this movie. What the fuck?
Oh, you know, let's jump into some trivia real quick. Eddie brought that himself.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
That was just a choice. He showed up with that hat thinking, hey, it's funny. All the props that character has, Eddie brought those.
That guy was so pissed they didn't have him in Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you think he was just like, you know what? Fuck you, Carradine. And Anthony Edwards? That should have been me.
Yeah, how the fucking Goose be the cool guy Goose?
Yeah. I wanted to rape that lady at the bounce house. It was me. But I'll tell you this. That hat looked like something out of the cartoon Doug. You know what I mean?
Well, that was a running...
Hey, funny?
God, that was a running theme of this movie, though, was his hats.
I wish Roger Lodge would run in and just take this kid out.
That or like a Rocko's Modern Life character I could see wearing that, you know? Before we get into it today, let's take a listen to the trailer.
son. All right. The way I see it, either we've got several hundred maniacs running loose, or we've got a serious problem.
Aren't you worried about those two guys that got mutilated out there today?
Nah, we'll surf around them.
All right. We know you're in there, so home on out.
No, Chief. Talk about having it all. He was short, ugly, nearsighted, and carried a slide rule.
For Christ's sake, don't stop innocent kids from drinking cola and surfing. It's the American way.
So come on out with your fan. Is that fans?
No, it's hands. It's hands.
Right. Okay. So come on out with your hands up, or we're coming in after you.
Surf 2 takes off where airplane crashed as the surf wars continue to ravage the minds and bodies of innocent youths in their fight for a better tomorrow.
So let's get into it, guys. Let's get into the crew. Luckily, this one's a real short one. Written and directed by the same man, Randall M. Badat. This is the only movie he ever directed. Are you surprised?
Not one bit.
Because right before we recorded, Hughes, you said that this movie bordered on incoherence.
I thought I missed a piece of the movie, and I was hoping that you guys could fill in the parts I didn't understand, and it turns out that's just the movie.
I can't do that, but I can perhaps give you a little perspective on this. Randall Badat, when he wrote this movie, was he had just suffered an injury and was under the influence of a shit ton of painkillers.
And some studio was like, you know, kid, I think you got something going here. You got a lot of... Oh, by the way, I did produce this movie. Yes, we know, Mr. Crown. Thank you for joining us. You took Chris's space today on the Grindbin. We're
always
very
a pleasure,
interested.
Mr. Crown. Glad to have you here.
Hughes, you don't have anything to say to him? Well, fuck you, too. I didn't like Matilda. Go fuck yourself, kid. Danny DeVito's a real son of a bitch, I'll tell you.
Jesus, Mr. Crown. Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, it's good to see you, too, Hughes.
Suck my dick.
I'm glad you guys can mend fences. So, yeah, he's under a lot of painkillers, and he has this seemingly brilliant idea at the time that he wanted to do what he described as Frankie and Annette Go to Hell. So he wanted to do his own parody of a beach party movie. And the idea, as he said himself in an interview in 2010, we set out to make the most brain-dead movie of all time, and in that regard, I believe we succeeded. So he's intentionally trying to make the worst movie he possibly can.
You know, you're making the pitch sound really bad. Because in my office, it sounded great. I'm like, I love Frankie and Annette.
Cute couple.
Yeah, you know, great kids, nice kids. Love to send them to hell. I like where you're going with this, kid. So let's see what you got, huh? And he hands me fucking 20 pages, and I'm supposed to fill this out. But I don't... He handed me 20 pages, and I handed him 20 grand. So.
That's about all it takes. So originally the title of this film wasn't going to be Surf 2. He titled it Surf Trash, which I think is a better title and more fitting.
Why was it called Surf 2?
Oh,
yes.
There
was no Surf 1.
We might as well
because
get into it.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
There is no Surf 1. So we're in summer sequel month, and the first movie we're doing doesn't even have a fucking origin movie. This is it, a one and done. And by the way, it was actually marketed as Surf 2, the end of the trilogy. Which is funnier than any joke in the movie.
I appreciate that humor, though.
Like, yeah, well, that was mine. Okay,
oh, God.
Yeah. So
I handled the post, though. What'd you guys think?
It's a high point. High point, Mr. Crown.
I think the poster has a Grindbin All-Star on it in zombie makeup, or in shitty Kiss makeup is how I put it. Yes, that was me. Why'd you hire Eddie Deason, by the way, Mr. Crown? He was hot. I actually thought he was one of those guys in the nerd movies. That's what they told me. If you remember, I said in Jocks, I said I want one of the nerds. They got me one of the jocks. But it worked, you know, that guy Olga, he was great. You see how he hit those tennis balls? He was hitting those guys. And then they were like, I was like, hey, get me one of them nerds. And they brought me this guy, and he looked like the guy from the movie, but he sure as hell didn't sound like him. And I don't think he was a brother to David Carradine, but what do I know, you know?
So Badat shows that 20 pages to his agent once the drugs have worn off, and his agent dismissed it as, quote, the worst piece of shit I'd ever seen.
Whoa, that's news to me. That's not what he said in my office. Or on the phone, this motherfucker.
I hate to be the one to bear this news, Mr. Crown.
You know, this is a real soft spot, a sore spot in my filmology, you know. I actually took my name off the producer credits for this movie. It was after it had its release, because I was like, well, if it had success, I would have loved it. But the only thing that happened with this movie is the main character went on to wear a rubber mask and get fired by Robert Zemeckis. So it was a low point in my career. I was doing a lot of cocaine, by the way, during this time, and there was a lot of lawyers standing outside my office every day, one after the next, handing me some sort of summons. The trash can only fit so much, you know?
It's funny you should mention Zemeckis, Mr. Crown, because Badat had written the role of Menlo Schwarzer, who we'll get into, Eddie Beezen's role, for Eddie Deedson. Like, he had him in mind when he did it because he saw him in the Robert Zemeckis film I Want to Hold Your Hand in 1978. Was
Piece
like,
of shit
I need
movie,
to do
by
a
the way.
movie for this guy.
So he was in that movie in 1978, and then 1979 Eddie Deezen was in 1941, Spielberg's best movie.
Both pieces of shit.
Absolute crap.
Well, Mr. Crown. Okay. Also, Back to the Future is a real pile of crap. It would have been amazing if Stolz was in it, though. I'll tell you, we had it ready. Like, this thing on home video, oh my God, it would have hit so fucking hard. But that fucker Zemeckis. And now look at what he's doing now. He's making movies about some guy walking across the World Trade Center. Anybody ever call him up and tell him it doesn't exist anymore? Hello, Zemeckis, it's not a real building. Ever heard of 9/11? I guess not, you fucking idiot. Well,
Damn.
I don't even know where to start with that one, Mr. Crown. Jesus Christ.
You've given us a lot to absorb here, Mr. Crown.
You know, I don't think we should have invited him in the studio. Wait, fuck you! Maybe you could just quiet down while Bobby gets through the rest of this trivia, please. Well, it's my life we're talking about here. All right, well, just shut the fuck up for a little bit, please.
Please, Mike, you talk to him like that, he's not going to come back.
Oh, he'll come back. He's got nothing else
They
to
always
do.
do.
Joe, hey, fuck you, Hughes. Go eat the cake. Were you that kid in Matilda? That kid on the stage who ate the cake? Was that you?
That wasn't me.
All right. Somebody misinformed me.
I feel like a lot of people have lied to you, Mr. Crown.
You know, I had your headshot in my office for a long time.
Which one?
The one where you're drinking milk.
It was a milkshake, sir.
Oh, okay.
The one with the cowboy hat, too?
Okay. I do like the one with the cowboy hat. Yeah, little John Wayne. Little cute John Wayne. Oh, I shouldn't say.
Can we retake that photo now?
I shouldn't say that out loud. I've gotten in a lot of trouble for calling kids cute, by the way. I consider it a compliment to the parents, and they're always like, you know, again, lawyer. There's only so many times you can ignore these before I get pulled over, and they're like, sir, you gotta go to jail because apparently I've been held contempt of court about 18 times. I don't even know what that means, contempt. I'm like, well, I don't hate him. I mean, what? I know the judge personally. He's a friend of mine. We have no problem. But I just give him a call. I get out of it. You know, that's how Hollywood works, baby. All right, thank you. Mr. Crown, shut the fuck up, please.
Mr. Crown should have been in Get Shorty.
Okay, can we let this kid get through the trivia? Let him shit all over my life, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Crown.
I've joined you
Thank
here
you.
to bring up the worst spot in my entire history, which is Surf 2.
We're going to get through this together, Mr. Crown.
How did I convince you fuckers to let me hear? Go ahead, Bobby.
So originally, as I said, the character was written for Deezen, and the character's name was originally Stinky Schwarzer.
That's true.
Until Deezen pressured Badat to change it. So that was too dumb
he's a
for
real-
Eddie Beezen.
He's a real son of a bitch.
Many of the comic actors were allowed to improvise their lines.
No, that's not true.
That's absolutely true. They went back and ADR'd over
That's not
him.
true. That's not true. Take it from the source. This is what he's telling us, Hughes. You're going to argue with the man who was there?
I like it that in this movie they delivered the lines once and then would ADR off screen over them to get that second punchline in.
Well, okay,
Throughout
it
the
was
entire
true
movie.
because these kids kept fucking up, and I'm like, don't worry, we'll cover it in post, all right? And I get this movie back, I'm like, I can't even understand this. I mean, all the cocaine in the world. I have my Scarface mountain of cocaine on my desk, and my head's buried deep. I'm looking like a fucking mime by
Ostrich.
the end of the day, you know? I can't understand this. I can't make heads or tails of this shit. And I'm thinking maybe I'm just old, you know, who knows? But this, we had to re-record a lot of it. And by the way, I have great interns who can do great Eric Stolz impressions, so we don't even need to call that son of a bitch back.
He could leave his mask on.
Yeah, fuck him and his mask movie. He tells me, he's like, it's all right, sir. I'm going to be in a movie that's going to be real big. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see it, kid. We can bring back Surf 2. We can get the money from it. And he goes, yeah, I'm going to be wearing a mask. And I'm like, oh, fucking A.
Hanging out with Cher.
He's hanging out with Cher. And who's in that movie? Laura Dern, I think.
Is Laura Dern in that?
I think so.
Anyways, it's been a long time since anyone at all has seen that film. So I don't know when the last time anyone watched it was.
It's a wonderful movie like that of Sean Penn and you know that movie he plays a retard?
Oh, Christ.
That's not a word we should use anymore,
Yeah,
Mr. Crown.
Mr. Crown.
Talk about
I'm
I
sorry.
Am Sam?
Yeah, I love that movie. You know, didn't that win an Academy Award? Yeah, there he is. You're showing me a picture of him. Yeah, it's a sweet story about a slow man. I think you're thinking of the wrong movie.
You think a Lawnmower Man?
Oh my
no,
God,
that's not the one
dude.
with Billy Bob Thornton. Where he likes them potatoes. Mr. Crown, can you please let us get through we haven't even got through the fucking director. Okay, I've got him out of the room. Let's get through it, Bob.
Mr. Crown's opus this episode.
Dude, the mask. We should cover the mask. There's so many good people in this. Estelle Getty,
Okay, let's get back into
Dennis Berkeley from Roadhouse.
Hughes, we're gonna record 2 episodes tonight.
Surf 2 was filmed in 29 days over the summer of 1983.
That is true.
So this movie came into this world right when I was.
Yeah, and lots of stolen footage, by the way.
And there was less slime on me.
Let me tell you, back in 1983, you could bring the film camera to the beach and just say it's a family vacation, and nobody has questions.
It's the truth. And they brought the film camera to 3 beaches, actually. Malibu, Redondo, and Hermosa.
Yeah,
And
and
then,
every time the cops would come up and they'd say like, "Oh, you shouldn't be filming here," I made them look at Eddie Dees and I go, "You really think that guy would be in a movie?"
It worked. And then any interior shots they had to do were filmed at a studio in Culver City. Now this is interesting. According to who seems to be completely comfortable talking shit on his own movie, which I respect that.
Yeah, he's a real son of a bitch.
Several shots in the film, especially ones depicting nudity, were inserted afterwards after the producers they decided they wanted an R rating.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
According to
I was like, there should be a great part where this broad takes her tits and she smacks a guy in the face.
And knocks him out.
Did you guys like that part? Actually, it was
Honestly,
my idea to add those 2 fat guys at the end of the movie. I thought it really spiced things up.
Mr. Crown, brilliant.
This director kid, he doesn't even put those characters in. I'm like, no. We need these 2 leches, like a young me, you know, and if like I had a twin. So there's 2 of me, 2. More to love, right, boys? And I was like, yeah, we should have him eat a shit in a sandwich and pull a girl's top off. Honestly, that was the only thing that the critics enjoyed.
Yeah, they destroyed this film. Like, there's nothing positive.
They
for any
did say
critic to
nice things about the violent nudity in this movie.
The violent nudity.
Violent.
They do say that it's never dull and deranged enough to be memorable.
Thank you. Mr. Crown, I did see at some point they tried to remarket this movie as Surf 2 The Nerd Strike Back.
Did they really?
Because they were trying to capitalize on the success of Revenge of the Nerds. Can you confirm that? Yes, that is very fucking true. We thought if people would see Eddie Dees on the poster, they'd be like, I think that's that guy from that nerd movie. You know, the one who fucked that girl in the bounce house non-consensually? You know, the one that stole all those panties, and it's just like, it's just a boy's joke, everybody. It's what college was like.
That's some shit that don't hold up, isn't it?
Like, hold up to who, you son of a bitch? That was my life on screen.
Sorry, Mr. Crown. So should we get into the soundtrack?
Yes, please. Wait, that's another sore spot.
So this is interesting. Anybody who watches this movie, sorry, but anyone who watches this movie will notice that it has a shit ton of noticeable music that you've heard before. Pretty much anything that was popular on Southern California radio at the time of this filming ends up in the movie.
3 fucking Beach Boys songs.
Yeah.
By the way, you don't hear the Beach Boys in a lot of stuff, do you?
No, you don't.
Because it's fucking expensive as all hell.
Right, and I was thinking that as I'm watching this movie, I was like, they don't have the budget for this soundtrack. Beach Boys, they got 2 Oingo Boingo songs, one of which Danny Elfman wrote for the movie.
Boys, do you remember when I said this was a sore spot in my history?
Yes, I do.
This movie cost me so much fucking money. It cost me my vacation home.
Do we know
Not
how
a
much?
vacation, a vacation home. Something you'll never know. You don't even own a home, any of you.
Do we know how much this movie cost to produce?
We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, I don't have any info on its on its budget or anything like that.
I've kept that secret. Nobody, you'll never know.
So as far as the use of all these bands, you know, like I said, we have Oingo Boingo. We got what we got here? The Stray Crats. We got the Stray Cats. We got the Ventures. The Wall of Voodoo. Thomas Dolby's on there, blinding everybody with science.
Dick Dale.
Dick Dale's on there. The way they worked this out was they had to deal with Capitol Records because it was going to lead into a soundtrack that they were going to put out that was going to make all the money.
I've heard all this.
Yeah, as Mr. Crown can tell you. It didn't quite go as planned, and when the world all agreed that this was a steaming bag of dog shit, this entire movie.
Hey.
I'm not saying I agree, Mr. Crown. I'm with you.
Okay.
But when everyone else thought it was a dumpster fire, they scrapped the whole thing. The soundtrack never came out. No references to this movie were made. They tried to forget it quickly, insofar that Danny Elfman and Oingo Boingo have not released their original song from this film on any format. If you want to hear that song, you have to watch this movie.
Yeah, and by the way, about this movie, hard to get. It was originally released on VHS, and then now somebody owns the rights. And you heard this? Somebody owns the rights on DVD, but it's like a mail order. So it's like they'll
print you a DVD-R of it?
Yeah, they'll print you a DVD of it.
Sent in a plain white sleeve?
Yes.
Will you at least get artwork?
I don't know.
So this is like one of those Warner Archives things, then.
Yeah, it is exactly like that. But let's finish the director here if you're done with the trivia.
Go ahead. If you got something more to add, I think I've got all the trivia taken care of.
So this was it for him as far as directing. But he did write some other things. 1993, a movie called Hear No Evil. 1993, Born to Run, which is a TV movie. 2008, Cutting Edge 3, Chasing the Dream.
There was a 3?
There's a 3. It was
there was
a TV
a 2?
movie. 2008, I didn't know this exists. War Games.
Is this a remake?
The Dead Code.
Is this a sequel?
A sequel to War Games.
Are we finally going to play chess?
And 2010, a movie called River World. And
is this a sequel? We found some dry land, but
we teamed up together. We thought Waterworld was going to be a big hit. All 10 years after, 12 years after Waterworld was made, we finally got Riverworld made, but nobody was interested.
He's just pissing in a nicer coffee maker.
Okay, Hear No Evil. Julian Shanahan, a deaf woman, becomes the target of a ruthless and corrupt cop. The cop is looking for a stolen coin, which he plans to keep for himself.
A coin?
Is the cop the leprechaun?
I don't know. So
is the cop played by Warwick Davis?
The woman
Leper
that
cop?
stars in this is Marley.
Leper cop.
Oh man,
get that pen.
Can I talk to you after the show, Mr. Crown?
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm hearing, boys.
Let's go find an elevator. I need to pitch something to you.
All right, here's the cast: Marley Matlin,
Oh God.
DB Sweeney.
Wait,
Wow. DB
Martin,
Sweeney.
actual deaf woman in the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Hear No Evil.
This sounds like a good movie. I've never heard of this.
Martin Sheen,
Oh my God.
John C. McGill. Oh my God. And that's
Wow.
everybody that I recognize.
Wow.
Yeah. Coming soon to a Grindbin near you.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get into the cast. Eric Stolz, we've talked about him. It's a sore spot in this movie. This was his first movie role, or his first movie role is in 1982's Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and this was his second movie role, Surf 2, and it was probably the one right before he was fired for Back to the Future. So he was like, let's just put this behind me, I'm going to be on this big Zemeckis movie with Steven Spielberg involved. We're going to be like making this time travel shit. I get to hang out with Christopher Lloyd, drive this DeLorean, and oh my God, I lost my job. If you do go watch the footage of Eric Stoltz in Back to the Future, it's not good. They made the right choice. I mean, they did. Because apparently, and I did listen to an interview today, is that Zemeckis said it was real tough, but like basically they shot all this movie, and they're looking at the dailies, and they're like, oh my God, this is not funny. And he apparently went over to Steven Spielberg, and he's like, you know what, we gotta recast this guy. And he agreed, and apparently the studio let him, and they fired Stoltz and brought in...
The little person. What was his name?
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, there you go.
That little person.
But then he did go on to be in the movie Mask and wear that face mask thing the next year, so he has that going for him. He did have a very successful career afterwards, though. 1989, he was in The Fly 2. 1989, Say Anything. 1993, Killing Zoe. 1994, Pulp Fiction. And 1995, Rob Roy. 1997, Anaconda. He's the guy who's passed out the whole fucking movie.
Wonderful.
And the list goes on and on and on. Eric Stoltz has had quite a career, although if he was probably in Back to the Future, he would have had much more. So he's by the way, he's horrible in this movie. Fucking horrible.
Well, who isn't?
I was going to say, is there a quality actor in any of this movie?
Maybe the guy who bites the fence.
Oh, big head.
You know what? Yeah, him and Daddy-O.
Oh,
He's
Daddy-O.
quality.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Because he's Bart in Blazing Saddles.
Oh, there you go. Oh my God.
So he went on
How
to better
the mighty
things.
have fallen.
Went on, or was that
Yeah,
before
that-
or
I
after?
think that was
I think that was
after.
That's
before.
after.
Oh, really?
Well, Blazing Saddles was first, right?
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
70s.
Oh, so he's on the downward.
This
Oh,
was
that's unfortunate. I feel bad now.
Then we have Jeffrey Rogers, who plays Bob, who's his friend. Okay. Eric Stoltz plays Chuck. So Bob, he only had 7 acting credits. He quit acting and is now a doctor in New York, and that's according to the commentary track from the first movie he was ever in, Friday the 13th, Part 3.
That's one of the best ones.
I was gonna say, that's the good one.
And the only other movie he was in was 1986's The Karate Kid Part 2 as GI number 4. So I think he just was like, you know what, it's not working out. And he just decided he's like, I better go back to medical school. That my parents paid all this money. Maybe I'll go make daddy proud. Now he's
do you know who he played in Friday the 13th 3? He's the guy walking on his hands who gets split down the middle.
Oh, really?
That
scene? That's a good death.
Oh, yeah, he's one of the most memorable things in that movie.
The first time I saw that movie was on DVD. I don't know if you were there with me, Hughes, when I spent my entire high school paycheck one day at Best Buy, and I bought every Friday the 13th movie up till Jason X, which came out that day.
Stopped at the right spot.
I still have the receipt for that. That was spend your paycheck day. It was $212.
And
you spent $212 on Jason movies?
Yeah. And we
went
and watched all the Friday the 13th, and we're on 3. And there's all these parts where people are like putting shit at the camera, and we're like, what the fuck is going on?
You didn't know.
It doesn't say anywhere that it's in 3D, and like this guy like takes an eyeball and like puts it at the camera at you.
The yo-yo and like, hey, can you hand me that bat, please? And then he's holding it right to the camera.
Yeah. And,
it's like SCTV doing the in 3D.
We were sitting there watching it going like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are they breaking the fourth wall and shit looking at me? Like, what? Who directed this?
What's cool is nowadays people are running 3D prints of it in theaters periodically.
I wonder if it's any good, though. Is it like that old 3D?
It's old.
It's the old 3D.
It's 1980, early 80s 3D. It's fantastic.
So then we have, so the only other person I wrote down, other than a few choice actor and actress that are on our list, is Morgan Paul, who played Chuck's dad. Now, I wrote him down because he has 48 credits, and his first role was in 1970's Patton.
Oh, nice. Good movie.
Then he went to star in a movie called Dirty O'Neill.
Dirty O'Neill?
No, he has a this is why I wrote down a lot of his movies, because he has a lot of movies that sound interesting, but they aren't at all. Dirty O'Neill is apparently, he plays a sheriff in a town, and it's all fine until these hoodlums come in and rape a girl.
Oh, dear.
And then he, I don't know, does some sort of walking tall type thing, like he's Joe Don Baker or something. And then 1975, he's in a movie called Murph the Surf.
Murph the Surf.
SCRF?
No, SURF. No, surf. Some sort of willow thing or something. No. Murph the Surf. What do you think that movie's about?
I have no idea. He plays a wave.
It's about a bank robbery.
Whoa. This is Point Break?
No. It's about just a bank robbery.
Oh, okay. I thought they were surfers.
I was like,
doing
what
robberies.
the fuck is this name? And then, he started a movie. He was in a movie in 1976 called The Last Hard Men.
Whoa.
Now, it's not what you think. It stars Charlton Heston.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I think I rented that last weekend. It was good.
I was like, with a movie like that, you gotta click on it, and then you're like, oh, it's just a Western.
Oh.
You're hoping Chuck Heston was...
Could you see people putting the fucking marquee up, and they're like, "Sure, are you sure this is what this movie's called? Like, this is a Cineplex. This is a family theater."
Some
That's
guys
what they tell me.
Some guys walking down 42nd Street. He's just like, finally, we're getting back to it. Happy days are here again. Let me get my raincoat.
Do you think in screenings of that, like the opening night, guys were like getting up and zipping their pants up? Like, they're like, "Oh, fuck this. I thought it was..."
The second Charlton Heston took the screen, they're like, nope.
It's just that guy from that Ape movie. I can't get hard to Moses, guys. Sorry.
I got one more cast member to cover.
Hold on.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Because then
we
he
can
was
edit
in
that out.
1978's The Swarm. Which keeps coming up. It's written by Grindbin All-Star Sterling Silliphant from Catch the Heat, which, Bobby, you just watched recently.
I did, and I'm better for it.
Oh, it's fucking amazing.
It's so good.
Highly recommend listening to our Catch the Heat episode and watching that movie.
Definitely.
It is a fucking hidden gem. Cinderella Pooh, baby. Which stars Michael Caine, and I think we're going to have to get that on there one day. I do have a copy of it. By the way, it's 2.5 hours long.
What?
Oh, God.
Is it really?
I heard, by the way, my wife was telling me that the new Transformers movie is over 3 hours.
It's over 3 hours. Fucking Michael Bay.
He's just fucking with us now. This is all a big dick wag, right?
3 hours?
I don't want 2 hours of it.
Wonder Woman's 2.5 hours.
I'm okay with that.
I've only seen one of them, so I have no idea. I didn't even know. When I saw the trailer for the new one, I'm like, they're still making those?
I sent you that video of the guy that plays all of them at the same time, and they see scene for scene that's all the same movie.
It just keeps repeating.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, all the same beats of the movie.
God, he's just filling in the numbers.
Pay by number
Of course he is, and he make $1 billion each time. That fucker.
So then he was also in another Academy Award nominated movie, 1979's Norma Ray, and then he was in Blade Runner.
Oh, so things didn't go so well.
Also, one of the top billed people in Blade Runner. He's like 8th down the cast list.
Wow.
There, believe it or not.
Not bad.
And his last role was in 1996's direct-to-video thriller Uncle Sam, which stars Grindbin All-Star.
Oh, the horror film.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which stars a Grindbin All-Star. I'm forgetting his name, but goddamn it, we just talked about him. He's in Scorchy. He's in the last movie we just covered.
Oh, yeah.
I think his name's Bill or something. He was in Police Women. He's in...
That's not Henry Silva, is it?
No. Oh, no, he was in, Bulletproof, yes. Okay, so then we'll just get through it real quick. You'll give your other cast member, but Eddie D's in Grindbin All-Star, Muggsy's Girls, Fuck You, Hughes. And another movie Hughes and I covered, Grindbin All-Star, Corinne Bohrer.
Who can forget?
I can't pronounce her fucking last name.
Tomboy?
Corinne Bohrer, who was in Joysticks, Beach Girls, and Stewardess School. Hughes thought she was actually a 14-year-old girl in that movie.
Yikes.
You never remember who this girl is, Hughes?
Nope.
She's a main character in this fucking movie.
I don't have that kind of memory.
She's Cindy Lou. You don't remember that girl's in 3 other movies that you've seen? She plays the fucking Joe Don Baker's daughter in Joysticks.
No, I know who she is now you bring it up. I just don't put...
You're watching this whole movie, and you have no idea.
I'm not trying to piece together who this person is from other movies.
I swear to God that Hughes watches these movies is just in one ear, out the other. Like, it's just, he's done with it after the podcast.
1.5 speed.
He doesn't remember
while playing a video game. And
Hughes,
that's okay.
Do you even watch the movies?
No, I absolutely do.
I think he's
I'm
winging
the
it.
only person that ever watches the whole movie
I'll tell you
with subtitles. And I watch the credits.
How dare you, sir? I haven't been here long, but I watch every minute of those movies.
Sometimes I think Man doesn't watch the movie.
He's not here. We could talk about this. I think that too.
Sometimes I think he doesn't make it through.
Trust me, there's been so few movies that I've disliked to cover that I usually enjoy watching them all.
Oh, this movie, by the way, is 2 days long. Just so everybody knows before we get into it. Bobby, can you tell us about the last cast member before we get into this shit?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about character Chief Boyardee.
Oh, god damn it.
Who's played by Lyle Waggoner. And
What
this is
a
going to be
pun.
relevant because Lyle Waggoner is famous for being Steve Trevor on the Wonder Woman TV series.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So his character now being played by Chris Pine in theaters everywhere.
Who's better?
Oh, hard to say.
Boyardee or Pine?
You got to go Boyardee, right? I'm a fan of the
Pine
classics.
Boyardee.
Pine Boyardee.
In the remake of Surf 2, I hear Chris Pine's going to play his character. So it's like they're going to do a big trade-off.
Yeah,
God,
he's
if they
really the
remake-
modern day Lyle Waggoner.
If they remade this movie,
Please, no. Don't. No.
who would play Eddie Deason?
I will sell the rights now.
Oh man,
Who will play Eddie Deason?
Zac Efron.
Yeah, The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock. But he gets to wear the hat.
Yeah. You're going to put glasses on The Rock now. He's getting into comedy, guys.
It's essentially the Baywatch cast from the Baywatch
Oh
movie.
my God,
they're
that
just
is
going
the
to do Surf 2.
Yep.
You know, this is the only movie I have uncredited myself on.
I think it's a good movie to choose, Mr. Crown, that nobody should ever know that you had anything to do with this.
Well, it's too late because I'm here. So let's get into it, boys.
Finally.
Long ago, in the good old days. No,
Fuck you,
you're not going through the whole movie.
We're not
Mr.
watching
Crown.
the scroll.
Yeah, this movie starts with a Star Wars fucking scroll.
How dare it?
I was just going to say that. How dare this fucking movie? And I wrote it all down. Long ago, in, quote, the good old days, surfers ruled. It was bitchin'. That was before the threat of chemical pollution, nuclear waste, and the horror of Buzz Cola. Menlo Schwarzer was a high school genius who hated surfers. He invented a weird soft drink, involved local businessmen, and set out to rule the coast. He nearly succeeded. This is a story of Buzz Cola and Menlo's revenge. And I just write, so this title crawl has told us the end of the movie. He nearly succeeded, so he failed. Why even watch?
Thanks for coming, everybody.
And while you're trying to read this, there's some annoying ad that's playing over it. So not only do you have, like, you're trying to read the plot of the movie, but you're also being bombarded with this people singing about cola.
Well, we thought it was a good way to... We had a deal with the theaters where they actually paid us a little bit of money. It's like, hey, go get a popcorn, huh?
This is like a Willy Wonka situation where they had the product all ready to go, but then it never hit the shelves.
That's exactly, yes. Thank you, Robert.
See,
you understand.
I get you, Mr. Crown.
So then we go Surf 2, Sole y Pupe Surf City. What the fuck?
I don't speak that language.
This is what the title card
I don't
said.
think that was Spanish.
I was like, did we accidentally like download a foreign copy of this movie? Because this movie made it past America? Like, I thought this was one they were like, at the border, they're like, no, just turn around.
You got the Peruvian cut.
I tried to sneak this into a lot of countries, boys, and they, for some reason, the mail kept getting returned. They're like, it won't make it through customs, sir. I'm like, it's a fucking VHS. Then we have guys surfing, smoking joints in the waves, and I was like, how do you even get a joint out in the waves? That fucking pissed me off right to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, the second you actually get on a wave, you're done. You can't do it anymore. It didn't make any sense.
How do you even get the joint out there? Well, because you got a paddle and everything, and it's
right.
like, if you put it
you gotta
in
be working
like,
on that thing the whole way out there.
Yeah, I mean,
Ziploc
like,
bag.
No, that thing's still getting wet, man. And then you're bringing a lighter out there and all this shit. What? That's a lot of work just to smoke a joint. Smoke it on the beach.
Like a normal person.
Yeah.
Like the rest of us.
Look, I mean, you can smoke a joint on the beach. Nobody's going to care. They're here at night, by the way. They're night surfing, which I also wrote, I don't think that's a thing.
It is.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you surf at night? Like, I know
you just go when the sun goes down?
You know that like that glowing organism,
algae?
the algae that glows in the waves? How cool would that shit be while you're surfing?
Bioluminescence.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen every night.
No, it doesn't happen every night.
If it does, you smoke enough weed.
But I'm like,
night surfing is a thing. There's
people do go night surfing.
yeah, but you need light.
No,
you need a board.
I mean,
need a board.
You've been to the beach at night.
Yeah.
It's fucking pitch black.
Not when
There's
it's a full
big
moon.
rock in the sky that reflects the sun.
Yeah, but if you try to go out there, you're not going to see shit, man.
I mean, I wouldn't do it.
I don't know, man. People do it.
Okay, well, I was real pissed off about that because I'm like, fuck
you got a
these
real
guys
problem
for-
with night
You got,
surfing.
yeah,
I'm
fucking,
like, this brown me
Hey,
in
you should
some
make
sort
a
of
soda
reality.
that'll take them out.
You know what? I might. Okay? Anybody up for creating a C-Lab? Which, by the way, how the fuck did he get that down there? Let's get into that. You know what I mean?
We haven't even gotten that far into this movie yet.
So anyways,
calm
We
down.
are 2 minutes into this film.
I was like, I really fucking
And like
mad
an hour
because
into this show.
I wrote, is somebody actually crediting themselves as Chef Boyardee? Because I didn't see it as Chef Boyardee. I just saw a cast name as just Chef Boyardee. I'm
Chief
like,
Boyardee.
Chief Boyardee. I was like, did this guy just want to remove his fucking name from this movie? He goes, just call me by the character.
Yep.
Well, Lyle Waggoner, after all that, all those Wonder Woman episodes.
Yeah, he's like, nah, no.
There's another look where I've gone.
Yeah, and so then some like thing eats these guys. Who fucking cares? They go down to the bottom of the ocean or something. Who knows? We'll see the same shot over and over again of some surfers
we
getting
will repeat
swallowed.
this.
I thought it was the abyss. At the end with the aliens.
It's just James Cameron almost killing himself again. Yeah. So then we go to school the next day, and there's a marching band, and they trample over a guy. And then these surfers are in the stand, and they're so dumb they apparently don't know what a girl is.
They don't know what a girl is. They're all holding their surfboards and carrying them around the school.
Just ready for that.
I don't understand this. Like, just leave them in the car.
Okay, so the scene
How
is
you know they're surfers then?
a lady, like a girl, a classmate of theirs, walks on the track, and Eric Stolz just stands up, and he goes, whoa, what's that? And Grindbin All-Star Cindy Lou goes, a girl. Can you say girl? And I'm like,
We will explain later.
This is the movie we're going to get.
Yep.
And so, okay, the Gang of Four, or as I refer to them in the notes, the SS. Stolz Surf? So the SS crew is Eric Stolz, Cindy Lou, Bob, and Wendy Sue.
And Bob's younger brother that looks 40 years old.
No, he's not part of the SS crew, as I say. So, Johnny.
Johnny
right?
Bighead.
Johnny, who in fact, I didn't even know this guy was really a main character. He just kept popping up. Like,
yeah, he's sort of a Deus Ex Machina. If they don't know how to end a scene, Johnny Bighead shows up.
Like, and sometimes they don't even pick him up. Like, we'll see.
He'll just be there.
This movie painstakingly goes through the process of we have to drive someplace, pick somebody up, go someplace, when it's just like, just fucking get me there. Like, I don't need the process of driving. They never pick him up, but somehow he's always there. Anyways, so the SS crew, right, they watch as Johnny eats a fucking fence apart with his teeth.
They're trying to escape the school assembly.
Yeah, they want to get out of this rally.
And you know, like, this is like one of those summer things where they could get the field, but they couldn't get the auditorium, which would be much better to film in. So they're forced to film outside.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is going on? Because we're just looking at this guy eating a fence, like link by link. You know what I mean? Just one piece of metal at a time.
And
he's
you know,
chewing.
as the movie goes on, I found myself longing for the time when I was just watching a man eat a fence.
At this point, you know, I was like, okay, all right, I see where we're going. Maybe this movie is going to be okay. We'll see. I'm giving it a shot, guys. I really am at this point. I'm like, all right, I've seen dumber.
Your optimism will be your downfall.
Oh
Mike.
boy, it will. And so then this like teacher comes over and he catches them and he's like, "Hey, what are you trying to do?" And they're trying to break out of a mandatory assembly or something. And then the principal
Daddy-O.
What? Yo, mama.
Well done.
So Principal Daddy-O, who is played by the guy from Blazing Saddles.
Yep.
Gets on a megaphone and then he tells everybody, he's like, "Hey guys, 2 of your classmates died surfing."
What?
Yeah, and they just keep saying what.
It's like Steve Austin showed up. What?
What? Surf's up?
And then
Yeah,
everybody just runs and leaves. And that's it. The thing ends.
Are you laughing yet?
Nope.
Are your sides hurting?
So then the Stolz surfers.
My back's hurting at this point.
So the Stolz surfers, or the SS, they drive in a car, and then they switch seats like morons, because Stolz is like, "I want to drive now. I want to see what it's like to be behind a wheel." And then they switch.
Well, they wouldn't let him drive the DeLorean, so he wanted to...
And then the girls in front of them flash boobs. That was my addition. In fact, I got the footage back, and I'm like, why the fuck do I want to see two dumbasses switch seats? Put in some tits, eh? Here we go, baby. Now we got a movie.
Well played, Mr. Crown.
But this movie then immediately puts a big giant man ass on the screen.
We do this a lot in this film.
And they do that a lot.
We're cooling you right off.
That was not me, okay? Well, I got to tell you, boys, it's a real... You have no idea how delicate titillation is. Okay? You want to get a man hard, then you want to get him a little soft before you get him hard again.
Do we?
That's just, hey, who's made a ton of money in this business, all right?
You know what? You're right.
Not
There's
you.
nothing funnier.
Oh, no.
Why don't you get the fuck... Mr. Crown, you can't kick somebody on the podcast. Let me finish something. There's nothing better than having a boner and laughing. It's a great thing.
You know, you're not wrong, Mr. Crown.
I love the sensation of having a boner and then laughing myself soft. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Is that usually when the woman laughs and then you go soft?
Can we kick this mother... Who's this guy? He was never in the older episodes. I don't know who this guy is. I've never listened to that Dolomite episode everybody talks about.
It's one of the newer editions. You know, like when a show has already run too long and they add some cast members.
Oh, he's like the little Chrissy to this Growing Pains?
Yeah.
Is that what he is?
I'm seven to
the Bundys.
to the Bundys.
He's like the fucking Leonardo DiCaprio's Kirk Cameron's friend now, that
Yeah.
homeless kid.
When they added those new Thundercats.
You probably tried out for that role, you motherfucker. So then,
Lost out to that hippie, huh?
they're basically, all right, they're all going to the beach, but then Chief Boyardee, the one cop in this whole town, and everybody calls him Chef, but just in this scene.
Right. Oh, this is also right around this time is when we get to hear that the local radio station is, I believe, KDLD, the Mighty Dildo, whose slogan is "Sticking it to you like always."
Oh, we love it.
Oh man, this is the funniest movie. I just can't get enough of how funny this movie is. Thank you, whoever suggested this.
Oh, yes. Thank you, multiple Grindbin listeners. And then some guy, his partner is like Duke Mitchell. Like the guy from Oscar Mafia style. His fucking Duke Mitchell should have went out for this role. He's got that same pompadour, and he's got like a big cigar in his mouth. We'll see this man maybe 3 times, and then it's like he had something better to do, or they ran out of money. Mr. Crown, maybe you can enlighten us. Oh, he died. Oh, my God.
His name.
It's really sad. He fucking did a little bit too much of the old, as we call it, the fun dip.
His name for the movie was Inspector Underwear.
Yes.
Yep.
Poor Inspector Underwear
And
passed
I
away in
am-
the middle of filming. Real sorry,
I'm
Locke.
losing my mind laughing.
So when the sheriff, when Chef
Hold on, can I
Boyardee-
just say
no,
something?
fuck you.
We were going to dedicate the film to him.
Oh.
But his wife said no. She saw the
She said
copy.
he's been through enough.
She saw the copy of the film at the premiere, and she said, "Could you take his name off the credits, and also please get his picture off the beginning of the movie in dedication? I don't want anything dedicated to him. I don't know." But anyways, carry on with your story, little Chrissy.
When the chief gets out of his car, he zips up his pants. Do we understand why? Was there a
it's
joke?
funny.
There was a dick out at some point.
Remember when I said it's great to be
There's
Okay,
also an
Mr.
awkward
Crown, we
moment
get it.
where Inspector Underwear is trying to get past Chief Boyardee, and his nightstick gently brushes Chief Boyardee's ass.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were gonna have a lot
and
more
we're
gay
losing our
jokes.
minds laughing at that too.
We're gonna have a lot more gay jokes. It's the '80s. you
Oh,
know?
yes. Oh,
So
yes.
it's a big comedy. You ever seen Jack?
Yes, I have.
This whole scene though is like bizarre. So Inspector Underpants walks by and says, "Excuse me," just throws some guy down on the ground.
Yeah.
And then the sheriff comes out, and he's talking about like where these kids could have disappeared to, the surfers that are missing. And then somebody suggests, "Oh, maybe it was a great white." And he goes, "Oh, I never even thought of that. You know, like a shark attacking somebody on a surfboard." And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Jaws existed before this.
I know. Wow. Never in Southern California.
Never.
Except for this year. And then Chief tells everyone, like, okay, so he's like, well, everybody needs to stay in school to, like, crack the case. And they're like, but it's the weekend. And he's all, hey, that's it. That's how it's like a huge joke. The punchline is set up, and then we just act like somebody else should finish it.
And he waits for someone to hammer it home.
He's still mad I included that in the episode.
I love that moment. I'm so glad you included it in the episode.
Reference the evil that men do for Hughes dropping a joke with no punchline.
Yep. Please go back to the evil that men do for the comedic stylings of Chris Hughes.
I get an early morning text. Fuck you, you left. So,
5 minutes before the alarm went off.
Just a little Grindbin humor, everybody. A little behind the scenes. Basically, they all just go in the water. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, he yells for them to clear the area, so they all say yay and run into the water.
And then, like, the best part of this movie, we just see 5 minutes of people surfing, and it's like, for some reason, this is more tolerable than the jokes.
It was like a palate cleanse. Just to have stock footage of surfers, you just get to breathe for a minute.
Yeah, like, there was a part in this movie when they go to the theater and watch a surf video. I'm like, can it just end this way? Like, the next 30 minutes, if it's just this, I don't have to take notes anymore. But then we also intercut with, like, a woman.
Like, can someone just come in like Dillinger and just kill the cast while they're watching this movie?
All right, if you notice in this scene, there's a bunch of men with their boards in the water.
Plain.
But then I wanted a broad giving the men in the audience a board, if you know what I mean. Because I insisted nobody wants to see these guys rolling around on the water, on the what have yous out there. Why don't we intercut with this woman that we just took in the back of the crowd offices and we just poured a bucket on her like that ice challenge?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I invented that, by the way. I didn't see a dime for it. Whoever this ALS is, a real motherfucker. He's taking all my money.
These owls.
Is that what you call him? Is that what you call him? Anyways, I've put out a lawsuit. They haven't responded yet.
You're filing a lawsuit against ALS?
Why are you laughing?
He's laughing. I'm with you, Mr. Crown.
Anyways, I thought it would be funny. We just pour some water on a broad, get it in there. You know, I thought it cut together well. What'd you guys think?
It helps. It definitely helps.
Yeah, you weren't put it by it. It was supposed to be that she was in the water, but of course we don't have a pool, so we just put the camera low and pour some water on her. Thanks, honey. Here's your 100. I'm kidding. It was only 5.
There's parts in this scene where you hear the sheriff talking, but he's saying stuff like, "Shit, I didn't mean it that way." But it sounds like he's talking to the audience in VO, like a commentary track on this, but it was actually involved with the movie. It was very weird.
So then we'll just go to the arcade scene. The SS is here, and I wonder if Joe Don Baker is going to show up for his daughter. And he doesn't. Boy, that would have made this movie better. And then they see, that new girl. Yeah, her name is Sparkle, and she was the one that they didn't know what she was called, what the female gender was called in the beginning of this movie. And then we watch these guys, as I write, that they're part of the Shitty Kiss gang.
See, I thought they were the gang that robs the fast food place in The Toxic Avenger.
Oh, I could see that.
Guy walks in and goes, "Teeny boppers."
I thought they were David Bowie.
I write them down as Shitty Kiss.
I think we're all right.
Movie. So yeah, that's just what I put them in my notes.
They're refugees from the Bronx.
Some dazzling Drews that didn't make it.
They couldn't quite hit their steps.
The Shitty Kiss gang was in the Bronx Warriors, but they got cut out, you know. And so they headbutt a soda machine, then he pulls a cap out with his eye, and then he downs it, and Johnny goes, "He must be from L.A." Okay, well.
Aren't they all from fucking L.A. in this movie?
Who knows? So then we go to this Buzz Cola plant, and these dumb shits that I will later find out are main characters in this movie, and I didn't fucking know.
Yeah.
Oh boy, do we watch these two old men do Oh boy.
Shtick.
Yeah, they really let them run wild. Obviously, like that 20 pages, they needed to fill it in. On the day of shooting, like, oh fuck, we forgot to write down any sort of dialogue. Can you guys make some gay jokes?
Yeah, one of the lines I've written down is, didn't I advise you to put the fruit juices next to the gay magazines? Ha!
Well, oh man, I thought that was fucking funny. That was what I wrote, boys, on set. I guess you don't share the same type of humor as me. Everybody at this table seems a little bit like a cuck.
Oh,
whoa,
Jesus.
Christ. I'm sorry, do you prefer the term snowflake?
Well, I'm triggered.
Whoa. All right, thank you, Mr. Crown. So then these punk guys, there's a shitty gag shows up, and they like take cases of the Buzz Cola or something, right? It's just Jesus Christ.
Let's just get through this.
And we go back to the arcade and we watch Johnny ride like he goes into this game called Ambulance.
Yeah, he walks up to it. It's got an out of order sign on it. And he just moves the sign because, you know, he's the lovable dimwit.
The quote is, Cindy Lou, Grindbin All-Star, Colleen says, Johnny, which this is when I first found out that that's his name. I was like, oh, he has a name. It's out of order. And he says, don't matter, I can't read.
And he only has an IQ of 54. He's been tested, and he cheated.
He cheated.
Yeah, that's right, he cheated. Good one, Mr. Crown.
It's funnier with us talking about it
I know,
than it is in the movie.
I like it you guys are laughing now. Should have been at your house, see if you laughed. Okay, Jesus, a lot of threats in this episode.
Mr. Crown is, he's on edge tonight.
Anyway, so he starts driving that thing around like a car, right? Like, so apparently out of order means that this machine now has grown wheels and has become a transformer?
Yeah, somehow that relates to his stupidity. He's so dumb that...
He's so dumb, he's smart.
He's so dumb, he drives this thing off like a Flintstones car. Like, he just goes, and then the feet start taking him places or something. And then he crashes off screen. There's a lot of off-screen crashes in this movie, by the way. That's a very creative way, by the way, of doing something, is just do it off screen and then throw junk on screen. Nobody knows the difference. Nobody.
It's a very Saturday Night Live style.
Are you saying cheap?
No. Yes.
So then Sparkle shows up, and then she's like talking to these two other guys, and I'm like, who the fuck are these guys?
I had no fucking clue who's going on. They didn't introduce any of these people.
No.
I don't know what we're supposed to care.
We just have to deal with them.
Eventually we're going to learn that these are the Cindy Lou and Wendy Sue's brothers.
But we see them for so little that then they put on this face makeup and become indistinguishable again.
Yeah, and by the way, I didn't even know the girls were sisters until over halfway through this movie. I'm like, wait a second, they're related?
I didn't know they were related.
I'm not gonna lie, Mike. This is news to me too.
Wait, you guys didn't even know?
No.
I thought they were just like friends and they each had a brother.
No, guys, they're related. They're sisters, and their parents own that surf shop, and these are their brothers.
I don't know what to do with this.
So the two hippies that own the surf shop, they have 4 kids?
Yes. Like
I did not get that.
These two girls, and those 2 guys.
Wow.
Yeah, they're all related.
And they're not twins. But somehow they all came out at the same time.
And they're all the same age.
That was one busy year.
The original Octomom, except 4 of them died.
Whoa. Dark.
This movie was a lot different. A lot different. Editing, boys. So basically, as I write, I go, well, I guess I'm not going to need to know who these guys are because I'm assuming they'll die soon because they invite Sparkle to go on a night surf with them.
Right.
And then basically they get brought down to this base at the bottom of the sea where Sparkle is located, and Eddie Deason is there as Menlo, or just fucking Mandrake from, or Mandark from Dexter's Lab at this point. Like, this is the origin of that character. He also plays him, because this is just like a fucking evil lab that he's apparently built on the bottom of the fucking Malibu coast or something.
It's very James Bond.
There's no logistics to this thing either. Like,
no.
How do you get into it?
Thank you. First of all, at some point did somebody see him carrying shit down? Like,
how do you launch all this material?
How did he get it in there?
And that is prime real estate.
I mean, this is like a big, like, have you ever seen the show Sea Lab? It's like a fucking sea lab down there.
Quasimodo's there.
There's all sort of like...
That's where he goes when he's not hanging with Bronson?
There's like... What was he there? If only... Could you imagine if Bronson was in this movie?
I wish Bronson would show up in this movie.
He might pull an underpants and just exit at some... You know what? I got another role.
I really wanted Bronson to walk in and just grab Menlo right by his dick.
Thank God there's never been a pairing of Charles Bronson and Eddie Deason. I don't feel it end well for Deason. But basically...
Did anything?
So I don't understand how they fucking got this base under the sea.
How does anybody? It's like the G.I. Joe movie when Cobra had the undersea base.
Yeah, and because this movie's so bad.
No one saw them build that?
Yeah, and this movie's so bad, I started pondering these things. Like, how...
The mind wanders.
Yeah, I mean, how do you get this base under the sea? Like, good God.
How do you get everybody ever to surf out right underneath your little toilet bowl to flush them into your base?
Yeah, and he also has, I guess maybe he attracts them with the thing that I never understood what it was like some sort of periscope with an eye on it?
Oh, the monster from Toys?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this, man? It looks like that thing in the, when Luke goes to visit Yoda?
Dagobah?
Yeah, it looks like that fucking thing in the swamp. You know what I mean? That little
I figured it out. How he lures people out there. We were trying to figure out how these guys were able to smoke weed out there in the middle of the water. When Beetlejuice has the Abba Zaba coming out of the ground to lure the fly?
There you go.
It's just there's an arm with a joint. And they're paddling out to it.
Oh, a joint!
Hey!
So basically, Eddie Deason has like a fucking base under the sea where he makes Buzz Cola or something.
He makes Buzz Cola and beauty boxes.
Yeah, he puts people's head in a robot. It's like a robot's giving you a little kiss or something.
It's adorable.
And then you come out with makeup on. Or so I don't know what the fuck's going on. So then we go to the morning, and the two guys in the SS crew, this is when we find out they live... Okay, so at first I thought they lived in two houses next to each other, and we were mirroring the thing?
I thought that's still the case.
No, they live in the same house. And it's literally just a thing because at one point in the movie we just start crossing the lines and
I think
they
that's
literally
just meant to be a sight
I
gag.
think it's just a
I don't
sight
think
gag.
they actually do. I think that was just one of the visual
you sure?
jokes of the film.
That's a joke. And
like the whole point of the scene is just showing that their lives are exactly the same. They're so similar that it's down to the right thing. And I think that was just one of their ways of playing with the setup.
And
I was
probably
like,
the most difficult scene for an actor or a group of actors to ever do.
Honestly, and I made a note about that. This is actually pretty well done. And
that's the thing that pissed me off is I was like, you know what? Fuck you,
that it's
Surf
wasted
2.
on
You're
this
not
movie?
good enough for this. Like, you aren't good enough for this gag. This is something that should have been in TerraVision, not this movie. Fuck you, Surf 2. You're not good enough.
I'm glad we're all on the same page about that because I had that exact feeling. I was just like, this is kind of awesome, and I wish it wasn't in this movie.
I wrote down the same thing. I wrote, I guess this is kind of good. We go from the house, the one creative scene in this movie, to the SS crew driving in their car, and they pick up Johnny. Okay, no, I did get a legit laugh at this part, actually. Is that Johnny lives in a some sort of, as I put, like a replica of the White House. Like, it looks like a mini White House with just trash all over it, and his mom's outside, and there's like a Cadillac parked on the grass. Okay, so they come up to pick him up, and she says, like, Johnny, did you take out the trash? And then he just takes a trash can and just chucks it at the chain link fence, and it just kind of falls. All this shit goes everywhere. And I was like, all right, maybe this movie's getting me back in. Like, there was the double house, and then this, and I'm like, all right.
You fool.
Because then it was funny when she goes, make sure to bring your brother, and he takes his brother and also chucks him like a trash can. You're telling me you guys didn't laugh at that part? I did think that was pretty funny.
I can't think of one laugh in this movie.
I did think this was very funny. And then I was like, wait a second, the fucking Beach Boys are on this soundtrack? When that fires up, I'm like, wow. Now you know why this movie was never re-released.
Yeah.
Because the rights to that shit were never going to be renewed.
Absolutely not.
On the DVD version of this movie, I can almost guarantee you they've stripped out all the music. Because there's no fucking way.
They've got to. It's like, have you ever heard the DVD release of Daria, the MTV cartoon?
Oh, they just remove. They got to remove.
Well, that's
all
what
the
took
music.
so long for it to come out. Is they can't because it was all playing music of the time. You got to get a bootleg set if you want it with the original songs in it.
Yeah, which probably
because the commercial one just has generic music playing over all that stuff.
Yeah, I guarantee you the DVD of Surf 2. There's no fucking way. The fact that it's even on VHS with this music is crazy. Like, this is the rights for this, where this was more than the movie.
Oh yeah, no question.
Oh, by the way, did we mention that this was a wide released movie?
No,
this movie came out fucking wide release.
This was a big summer release.
Yeah.
How much money did it make? If we don't know how much,
None. This was a massive failure, like a failure on levels you wouldn't believe. Then we go to the SS crew, and they're talking to the girls, right? And this is when you learn. Okay, well, this is a horrible joke, by the way, where Stolz tells Cindy Lou he has leukemia, but he's surfing anyway, and I write, God, I wish.
You're right. That is a horrible joke, Mike.
This is when I go, wait, Cindy Lou and Wendy Sue are sisters? This is when you first find it out, because they're like,
piece it all together at this point.
yeah,
right?
they're parents, and then I write, those idiots were their brothers. And I write, here's my notes, my exact notes. Maybe I'm just dumb, but this movie is not doing a decent job of telling me who the fuck anybody is.
No, it is not.
And then they just leave the girls at their surf shop. I write, doesn't matter. Go to the beach. Johnny moves an RV so they can park, and apparently he just rolls. Look at Hughes, he's laughing.
He chucked it into the traffic, and then they threw car parts into the scene.
Yeah.
And I think a little bit of a dip of a microphone into it.
Hey, look, we can afford the Beach Boys, but we can't afford a car crash on PCH. You know how much that fucking costs?
This whole movie, when they're showing PCH is empty, and like the streets to the beaches are empty.
Very expensive.
Oh my!
Actually, just 5 a.m. You take the camera out, son. There's nobody there. Let me give you a little hint, Hughes. Back in the day, you could just bring the camera to the beach, record a day. Nobody was the wiser. So we watch Two Fat Guys, Mr. Crown's addition to this movie.
They were rich, right?
Are they? I don't know what the
fuck
fuck
they had like a butler that was carrying them out of their limo.
Oh, you're right. We watched two fat men try to get out of a car. Like, this is a joke.
And they can't quite do it.
I thought it was funny.
I swear one of them was in all the Ernest movies.
Oh, is he that guy?
I thought one was McDorfus from Joysticks at first.
I didn't know.
Like,
yeah, I didn't see.
It looks like him.
I think that's a possibility.
It might be, actually. I didn't look. So then we watch these two fat guys get out of the car, and then they're like, Jesus Christ, they're trying to force each other into wetsuits while they can't even put down a fucking sandwich.
Isn't that hilarious?
And then he bends over and like they literally shove the camera right up one of their asses. I've never seen that far into a man's asshole.
Yeah, it's...
Like, it was very disturbing.
And what they do, this is one of those cool down moments, like we were talking about earlier, because we show
hard
this
then
other
soft,
guy.
hard then soft.
Yeah, because this guy goes like running and he dives, spikes himself in the sand, so his legs are sticking up. Passersby come around to try and fix it. His foot accidentally removes a girl's top. We're staring at titties. Cut to an asshole.
There's nothing.
A literal asshole.
Yes, there's nothing funnier to me than getting a man hard and then holy fuck, it is McDorfus. I told you. I fucking told you. So that's been confirmed. Grindbin All-Star. Guy who died, McDorfus.
Guy who died.
I mean, Fat Boy number 2.
Fat Boy number 2. Mr. Crowd must have called him up. Got him in. So, yeah, nothing is funnier to me than getting a man hard and then watching, just cucking him a little bit and getting him soft. It's hilarious. When you're in the movie theater and you see all these guys picking up, they're like, boobs, 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 man ass.
I got you again.
That's what I do. I actually stand in the back of the theater and I go, gotcha! Think of that tonight when you're getting hard.
You got crowned.
This whole scene was just to demonstrate how bad quote-unquote public beaches are compared to private. And as we know, there is no private beaches.
No, there's not. It's a myth. If you ever see a sign that says private beach, just go right the fuck on there, because you cannot buy the beach.
It's God's beach, man.
Thanks for this Hughes Clues moment. So basically this all, this fucking sucks. They just walk around and they see Menlo. So Eddie Deasons has a rental booth now.
Hold on. There's more to this fat guy scene.
Oh, okay. So we
Because
see
these
up
fat
his
guys-
asshole. We
yeah,
see
they're-
up McDorfus's asshole.
Yeah, both guys have their assholes out, and they decide they're gonna run to the water. It's time to play.
Oh, yeah.
They accidentally hook an old lady with their board strap. And
did
they're
laugh at
dragging
this
this old lady down the beach, which goes over a couple under a flannel blanket having sex, so we can get sudden tits again.
Hard then soft.
Hard then soft. Hard then soft. And they continue to drag this poor old woman into the water, assumedly to her death. And then we cut to a character going, "What a fucking zoo."
I did laugh at that part.
Because that we can get on board with.
Mike, I think you're liking this movie. I've seen your face. You laughed a lot.
Mr. Crown is winning Mike over.
I'm not laughing now. I'm trying so hard. So then so basically, some lady tries to help a guy who got his head stuck in the sand, and
That's
then
what we
her
were just
top
describing,
falls off. Yeah. Then the SS boys go over to Menlo's rental booth, and he keeps trying to get them to drink Buzz Cola, but they don't want any.
And he's
dressed like an Arab.
He's dressed like a sheik. He
Yeah.
looks like Sabu.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Eddie, Eddie kept showing up to set with these outfits. I'm like, what?
One has to assume
what, today
that
you're an Arab?
Eddie just brought that with him. We're like, wouldn't it be funny if I had this on?
You know what was really funny is he had a part where he put out a mat and he started praying and all this. It didn't make it in the movie. He just fucking did this on set. He's a great. He's a real funny guy, you know.
Man, it's sad when you're watching this and you're thinking Carrot Top would have been better.
Hey, fuck you.
If someone's gonna, sorry, Mr. Crown, I'm just saying.
Eddie was the original Carrot Top.
If someone's gonna bring a trunk full of props, I would have taken Gallagher.
Oh, this kid though, he was cracking me up. This guy. Every day he's got a new outfit on. This
Comedy gold.
One day he shows up looking like Howdy Doody. He's fucking great, this kid. I told him, I was like, you're going to be a big star. And then about halfway through, I found out he wasn't that kid in the Nerd movie. And I said, you all look the same. I get in a lot of trouble for saying that, but not to white people. So
for once, you got away with it.
You can say that to a white guy. You all look the same. Thank you, Mr. Crown. So then the boys go off running to hit. They go hit on some other girls because their attention span is that of a gnat. Mm-hmm. In the middle of a conversation with Eddie Dees, and they're like, I think we need to leave this scene. And they just go over, talk to these girls. And then Johnny's trying to teach a guy to surf by gluing his feet to a surfboard.
Did he wrap it in wax? And that was his little brother.
It had a bucket that said glue.
Yeah, it was like a Looney Tunes gag where he literally just had a brush inside a glue bucket. And
I like that they carried that gag all the way through to where they put him on into the ocean, glued to the surfboard, had him ride the wave for a second, flip over. Then we get underwater footage of him upside down glued to the surfboard.
Drowning.
Yeah.
Like that
you guys
taking the gag.
I thought it was fucking
taking
great.
that gag all the way
I don't know what's
through.
wrong with you guys. I'm giving you fucking gold here.
And we need to lighten up, Hughes.
Apparently.
We're a little too uptight.
We need to be more like Eddie.
We need to loosen up like those two fat guys.
Yeah.
Gotta open up the backs of our pants.
Come on, guys. You love joysticks. What's wrong with you?
I think because we were watching this with pants on, that's the problem.
That was the key.
You watch it with pants on? Hard then soft. Hard then soft. Get them off.
Man, we finally have a thing for our t-shirt.
So then we go to this surf shop, right? And the girls and their parents are just sitting around, and the girls are mad because the SS boys left them alone, and they're like, I bet they're hitting on other girls or something.
This is troublesome. This is how we're trying to get like a beach party movie.
Yeah.
Annette was always like, Frankie didn't show up when I expected him to. He must be with another guy.
He must be fucking a girl.
He must be gorilla fucking some chick.
Was there ever a part where Annette caught Frankie fucking a girl in the lifeguard tower?
Pretty sure she caught him.
She caught him
lining it up a couple times, but never actually followed.
Lining it up? What do you mean? Like this is the fucking Top Gun game? He's
Yep, she caught him locking on before firing that missile.
You can't mess with an Avalon, man.
Frankie Avalon lining it up like he's standing over a woman. He's like, all right,
Check the horizontal. Check the hair.
Seems like a real Eddie Deason joke.
It definitely does. And the whole time, Big Drop is making fun of him. He's standing in the corner, just like, all right, you hockey puck.
He's
Try and line it up.
He's rubbing his shoulders. You got this, kid. You got this.
You're a bum, Frankie. Man, I watched the shit out of that one. That was How to Stuff a Wild Bikini, right?
Yeah. So then we go to the beach at night, right? And the SS boys have got these girls in their rape shack, which is just, at this point, I'm like, oh no, I don't think anybody's getting out of this alive.
It's problematic.
And then Stolz and this idiot friend of his are just... Okay, so apparently they're trying to tell a story, and I can't understand what the fuck they're saying.
It's basically... Do you remember when Eric Van Patten's telling his surf story in Hell Night? And he just jumps up on the bed, he's getting in the surf position? It felt exactly like that scene to me.
Yeah, and you're just like, I don't know what the fuck.
And the girls laying there like, are we gonna fuck?
Well, the girls take off their tops, and then Stolz looks at him and he goes, whoa, boom. And then he's like, hey, wait, tell me that story again. And they're just like...
It was a story that they both knew because they were both there for it.
Yeah.
He just wants to hear it again.
They just want to hear it again because they're actually more interested in each other.
Yeah, it's really what it comes down to.
So this conversation they're having in there with the girls' boobs out and everything was actually a plot point.
What?
Yeah, there is a plot point dropped in there where he's talking about his first time he's ever gotten tubed in a wave, and then some geek
tubed, huh?
Yeah, some geek came and ruined it, and that geek being
it's also
this
clear.
Is a fucking Hughes Clues
Hughes
right
Clues
here.
again.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you opened my eyes. I didn't even know. Hughes, Mr. Crown, why the hell would you put a plot point in the middle of a nudity scene? Hot then soft, boys.
Man, this is Mr. Crown, you are smarter than we gave you credit.
I like to actually drop little nuggets of very important information while there's boobs on screen because I figure the men are watching.
Well, Mr. Crown, you have definitely dropped the nugget with this movie.
Hey, I don't think that's a compliment at all. Fuck you.
Of course it was.
And next time I'm going to call Eddie over, guys. You'll get a real kick out of him.
Oh, God.
By the way,
Eddie needs it on the grind bin. Let's track him down.
He always comes with this like a carrot top case full of props.
I hope Eddie Deason is like grizzled and racist at this point.
What do you mean racist?
I don't know. It just seems
Just
like
because he doesn't like black people doesn't mean... Jesus Christ, Mr. Crown. I'm sorry. Sometimes I forget it's not my decade.
The only reason I'm able to piece that together is because we're going over it again. I had it in my notes. They wrote some geek, and then watching the end of the movie, I'm able to tie it back to who the geek was.
This is one of those beautiful mind things. Like I'm watching all the math equation going around his head right now as he figures this all out.
Okay, so it gets even worse because then the sisters show up, and they know that apparently they can hear the guys in the rape shack from where they're standing.
The bulletproof rape shack.
Yeah, which is like... Yeah, we'll get into that. It's a lifeguard tower they're in.
Yeah.
Rape shack lifeguard tower.
Same thing.
Tower number 5, where all the rapes happen. And they basically say, oh, I know how we'll get them back. And one of them rips her fucking shirt and goes like, oh, well, basically, we'll just go tell the cops they raped us.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Their beach party-esque plan to get those boys back for flirting with other girls is to fabricate a sexual assault to the police.
This next scene is so freaking weird. They get the cops there. I thought they were claiming rape, but they're saying no. They found the killers of the surfers and to come with everybody so they can capture them.
I thought they still said that they raped them.
No.
I thought that too. This is another Hughes Clues.
Yeah,
this dude has figured this movie out.
Holy shit!
Did we not watch this movie?
Yeah, like what? You did say you missed a lot of things. You caught more than us.
Yeah.
Apparently, you're the only person who really watched this movie.
Although you guys never knew they were sisters.
No.
Or that was their brothers. Okay,
I knew that they were brothers, but I didn't know that they were like the whole 4 of them were all related by blood. But whatever. So the cops show up and these people are still in the lifeguard tower talking, and the girls are topless. Nothing's going on. And then this cop spreads everybody out, and they're all like have assault rifles, and one person has a grenade. And then he starts going on the blowhorn, and there's this gag going on where he has to read what to say on the blowhorn from the manual.
Yeah.
And
this
it's
running gag
so
with
slow.
with Chief Boyardee where he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, but
like he's reading the
let's
manual.
just get to the point.
But
basically...
I was going to say, then he had this line about sounding like John Wayne, and then from there he goes fire, and all these cops start shooting up this lifeguard tower.
Yeah.
Like just...
Well, it is the LAPD.
They Bonnie and Clyde that shit.
I mean, this is how we do things.
Yeah.
And there's shit going on, and then they cut inside the life tower. The kids are like, yeah, it's no big deal. I don't know what's going on out there. There's bullets whizzing into there.
Yeah, and then a grenade comes in.
Actually makes it inside.
And blows up.
Yeah.
And then they all just walk out.
They're
and
unscathed. They have survived a grenade explosion.
Yeah, and then
we don't even do like a cartoon soot gag or anything. They walk out like they weren't even in the scene.
And then like the girls that they're with, their towels fall off, and Duke Mitchell, who I think this is the last time you're going to see him, starts stroking that cigar in his mouth like a dick.
Like a dick, man. He's like, let me
going
frisk
to work
him.
on it.
Let me frisk
yeah,
him,
it
please.
gets real like.
Yeah, it's like no. Maybe this is why he didn't show up.
That was a little improv, and they're like, "We don't need you." That's a champagne.
I
rap
thought he
on
was great.
Inspector Underwear.
I thought he was great, but the lawyers kept telling me, "You got to get this guy out of here." So they take the SS boys away, right? And then we go to the surf shop, and the parents are there with the SS crew and the cops, and apparently one of the brothers is now a zombie, and he eats a can of motor oil. That's it.
Yeah, he came back somehow, but the other brother didn't.
Not yet. He will.
Yeah, eventually.
And then we go to Eddie Deason, and he won't shut the fuck up, is what I write. Because we go to his lab, he's like, it's like they turned on the camera, and he's just like, I don't care if there's any fucking lines. I'm just going to go.
Yeah,
Here, do you want to know what he's saying? I have a revenge plot. That's all he had to say. I have a revenge plot. These guys are mean to me. Now I want to kill all surfers.
Mm-hmm. But he's like, he's dressed up like fucking Howdy Doody, screaming at the top of his lungs, like touching beakers and all sorts of things. And like Mr. Crown is just sitting there on set, just cracking his ass up while Deason's just running around doing his thing.
And then we find out Sparkle used to be an ugly nerd, and then he has this box that she has to sit in, and she becomes pretty again.
Like he was the only one who gave her the time of day because she was on his level back in high school.
There's some sort of robot head that you stick your head into,
and it makes you a pretty lady.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll return to that gag later.
Oh boy, will we. And then we go to so now we're in school, I write, oh, I guess that nerd guy in the beginning of the movie is their teacher because that was not established. I just thought he was a student that was mad they were trying to break out of the assembly.
And it turns out he's their biology teacher.
Yeah, and so then we watch them like take bets for a fucking frog race that they've taken the time to make like a cardboard stadium with people in it and everything. And we get the fucking Olympics song.
It's Johnny Big Head's frog races. Bow, bow.
We get like the song from Chariots of Fire. It's like da 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 da. It's like, what the fuck is going on, man?
And there's zombies that are in class with them.
Yeah, some of the students are straight up zombies.
They're just straight up zombies, and they're drinking like bleach.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
and then one of them starts drinking acid.
Yeah.
And then basically the principal comes in. What's his
Daddy-O?
name? Principal Daddy-O. And then he just takes the SS boys to the morgue where they identify a guy's body. And they can't identify which body parts, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on in this movie?
That gag. Fuck that gag. I don't know what they were trying to imitate, but that shit made no sense. It was not funny. We watched 3 minutes of them arguing about what a knee was. No, that's not a knee. I think it's a tongue. You're like, I'm pretty sure you can tell the difference between a knee and a tongue.
Yeah. And then you can just cut the next scene out. It's basically you just learn that the dads work for Buzz Cola, which we already fucking knew. And they work for Menlo, right? And then we go to the shitty Kiss guy's room, right? One of the brothers. And the girls are like, hey, can you talk to him? And he's just moshing around. And I just write, the only reason I mentioned this fucking scene is because this is when I wrote 46 minutes left, an eternity.
Yeah, at one point during the mosh party, they mentioned that last night he broke into the grocery store and drank 6 gallons of antifreeze.
If only I could have.
Yeah.
You know?
I was jealous.
So then we go to a movie theater and like everybody in town is watching this surf thing on the
surf
screen.
movie-thon.
And then fucking Eddie Deason has to come in and make this scene even worse. And when he walks in, somebody throws like a bag of flaming shit at him and then he starts stomping it out.
Who has that prepared?
They brought a flaming bag of dog shit to an all-night movie.
But here's the thing. It's like a huge joke. The gag is there, but then there's no punchline because he just steps on it, and then it's never followed up with an actual joke. He just steps on it.
He doesn't
and then,
slip in it.
No,
they don't make mention of the smell or anything.
Nothing. It's just a guy steps on a bag of flaming shit, and they're like, was that the joke? We don't know.
And Mr. Crown was just laughing his ass off.
How do you need to follow it up? Flaming shit's just a joke on its own.
Yeah, you get it.
Okay, what would you guys do if you saw a flaming bag in the middle of an aisle at a movie theater?
Step around it.
I saw a Rodney Dangerfield stand-up set where he just took out a flaming bag of shit and stepped on it. And that was one of the punchlines. It was hilarious. That was when he was in his Gallagher face.
God. So the front row was wearing a tarp.
Scat Gallagher.
Son, I wasn't wearing... I didn't have a top. I wish I did. Shit all over, but goddamn was I laughing.
And he's with that girl, and she looks just like David Bowie.
Oh, I had it written down that Sparkle's just like Captain EO.
Captain EO.
And like,
it's amazing.
It just fucking goes nowhere. And then all of a sudden the film burns up. Like it's fucking Gremlins 2.
I wish this fucking movie would have burned up.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I wish it happened in the actual movie. And then we just go to Menlo and Sparkle eating dinner now.
Great.
And I wrote, okay, now here's the weird thing. Is Menlo, like, so Eddie Deason keeps saying things about dad. And I write, are they brother and sister?
No, they're boyfriend and girlfriend. They go,
Yeah.
I was the
But
girlfriend.
I'm telling you, he says something about like, oh, dad said this or something. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, it's never followed up, but I was like, they better, like.
No, it's very much established that they dated together because
Yeah.
they were the two nerds of the
I
high
know.
school. Yeah, but they're
I know.
not that they're siblings, though.
But I'm like, are we going to throw a fucking incest angle in this movie?
Honestly, at
Because
this point, I
Jesus
wouldn't have been
Christ.
surprised.
At this point, there's a song playing that's very recognizable. They blinded me with science.
Yeah, Thomas Dolby showing up in here with our infinite budget for the soundtrack.
Yeah. That song with Eddie Deason's fucking incessant improv going over it. And by the way, did you guys notice this is when Eddie showed up to set with a little cowboy hat on?
Oh, God.
He actually had a little horsey between his legs. He was galloping around the set.
I forgot he had the cowboy hat in the movies, and he threw up his shitty feet onto the seats, and then put the cowboy hat over his face, and he's like, "I'm done."
Yeah, that was just Eddie. He was like,
Fucking
my
weird.
8 hours are up. I signed my Bronson contract. I'm gone for the day.
And at this
I
point,
can't believe you guys don't think this guy's funny. He's
at this
fucking
point, I'm
gold,
ready to
this
go
Eddie.
full psychomania. Like I'm gonna chain myself up and walk into the river.
But I'm
but
not
you-
going to believe it, so
yeah,
I don't have to come back.
And I'm gonna doubt myself at the last second, so I don't have to risk watching
Like
this movie.
we're just about to watch Bobby, and we go like, "Remember, you got to believe." And he goes, I know.
Nope, definitely.
The doubt is creeping in.
Exactly.
But don't worry, we get another gag where a guy pours wine by breaking the top of a bottle, and then we have to watch Eddie Deason drink it.
Yeah.
Fucking method actors, man. Where is this next scene coming in where there's a flashback to the good old days of no crowding?
Okay, makes no fucking sense. The SS boys are just driving around in their car, right? And they go like, oh, the good old days. And we just go to a shot of just a bunch of people in the water. And
Like a shit ton of crowd.
I write, what the fuck is going on? The scene just ends. Fuck you, movie.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, you know, you watch a movie like Blood Diner, and that movie has a lot of, like, it's borderline incoherent, you know, because things happen so fucking fast.
But it had interesting parts.
Yeah, but this movie...
It's got some moments. I don't really care for it, but it's definitely head and shoulders above this movie.
I mean, holy fuck. This is like Jackie Kong on crack, this movie. Like, this is like fucking Night Patrol, but just oh, God, like Murray Langston was uncorked. Like, he could just do whatever the fuck he wanted. The bag's off, you know?
It needed a Pac-Man wipe.
And so then it's morning, and Johnny takes a chainsaw to the pink Cadillac in his front yard and makes it convertible. Then they run over a bunch of trash and...
Wonderful.
Which car? The convertible, Mom.
Basically, okay, so we go to the beach. Apparently, the SS boys, like, we just have to watch, I'm not even kidding, like a 15-minute fucking argument about how the SS boys' fathers want to put Buzz Cola on the table, but the girl's parents wants to put a thing of beans.
It's beans versus sodas. Fucking round 17.
And then fucking Shitty Kiss shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we watch Johnny get in a fucking trash eating competition.
This is...
with Shitty Kiss for, I'm not even kidding, 10 minutes.
Well, because we're intercutting between that and an obese gentleman eating a sub sandwich over a buxom woman's tits.
You know what's so funny to me is a fat man eating.
I know, and it gets better because he's spilling food out of his mouth into her cleavage, right? He's so just enraptured by the sight of her boobs that he looks away long enough and doesn't notice that a seagull shits in his sandwich.
He thought it was mayonnaise.
And he takes a big old bite, and you know what? You know something? You ready for it, kids? You might want to sit down. He likes it better. This movie has literally become a shit sandwich.
Hey. You guys aren't laughing.
I think Divine eating dog shit was way more entertaining than this entire 15-minute scene.
Hey, fuck you. This is one of the most classic, as Hughes has said, you know, he says he likes to call back classic tropes in movies. This is the old bird shit in the sandwich gag.
Of course. You know, as someone who has struggled with obesity and binge eating myself in my real life, I always appreciate fat ass can't stop eating jokes.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It's never not funny.
Son, if you haven't noticed, I am 400 pounds. Trust me, I can laugh at myself.
Honestly, though, you're looking good. If you cut a little carbs,
I'd fill the room up, you know, with my... Actually, wait a minute, you're supposed to cut carbs? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it makes it easier to chew it.
Dr. Atkins was a good friend of mine.
A bit of trivia about the
Real
garbage
dumbass.
eating scene. Majority of that was Jell-O.
Who cares?
Thank you.
You mean that Jell-O starfish they ate?
Okay, and so then there's a beach party at night, right? And then there's a beach party at night. Some kid drinks Buzz Cola that starts to have a seizure.
Great.
And people just watch them. And then zombies, like Shitty Kiss attacks, and I don't know what happens. Basically, Sparkle and the boys go to... They go to this teacher's house, and they cut open one of the zombies.
Yeah.
And they were like, there is a part when the teacher cuts him open and he makes a noise and he's like, I thought you said this guy was dead. And they're like, we said he was sleeping. And he goes, not anymore.
Didn't they pull like a carburetor out of him?
Yeah. I have the stuff written down.
And I wrote 24 minutes for fuck's sake. Basically, the end of this movie is just them like staying at the teacher's house, and then slowly all the plot's revealed because they're like, we only have 5 minutes to go. We better fucking get this movie rolling.
Of course.
And then,
if I may, let's go over the things that he pulls out of this guy.
do we have to?
No, we don't. Fuck it. Let's cut it out.
I mean, like,
you're sprinting for the finish line,
look,
Mike. Let's do this.
Nothing happens, okay? They
Yeah,
go
there's
to
no
this
point to
teacher's
any of
house.
this shit.
They pull shit out of him. They pull a fucking carburetor. They pull a,
Orca.
what have you.
A Dick Dale album.
A Dick Dale reel-to-reel album.
And then,
Reel
like,
to reel.
then-
The master tapes of Dick Dale's new album.
Like, they like so I'm gonna treat this movie like it treated me.
Yeah.
Is that it just wanted to end, and because they don't even cut, they just have scenes of a paper flying on screen and it tells a headline.
Oh yeah, we do the spinning newspaper guy.
Yeah,
Twice!
Beach party goes berserk, and then we cut back to the same fucking scene, and the teacher's like, "Oh, there's shit in this soda. It's not real soda." And then it's like, "Duh, another fucking newspaper," and then he's like, "Look, I got the formula to this soda," and it's all like shit. And then he goes to this fucking pizza party that the parents are having or something with Principal Daddy-O. And then, like, they basically, he's like, "Hey, this is shitty soda." And the guy's like, "No, it's real." And then he drinks the soda and he's like, "Yeah, I guess it's regular soda." And then we go to a fucking surf competition and the fucking movie ends. Like, they get the surf
kids
competition.
win.
The kids win. Eric Stolz wins the fucking movie. And then everybody's like, "Yeah, okay." And then people go into Menlo's lab and they just kind of destroy it. And Eddie Deazen's running around like a fucking idiot. And then this movie ends with the dads becoming women and the robot heads. And then all of a sudden we cut to another day and now everybody's friends.
Yeah, Eddie is not in jail.
Yeah, okay, at the end, they take Eddie away in the jail and he won't shut the fuck up. And then all of a sudden he's back making people sandwiches.
And he put too much mayonnaise in one, and the other one has a hook because it's too fresh.
With like fucking Doug Funny's hat on, this guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's the biggest bill you've ever seen on a baseball hat in your life. This thing is like a 3-foot long bill. It was the most interesting thing in this movie.
It's the bill from The Sandlot.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, this thing. And he's wearing like a 90s painting as an outfit.
And then everybody's no longer zombies somehow.
No.
And nobody died from drinking all this motor oil.
Yo, and that
none of
lady
this shit
does eat a
mattered.
fish hook. I did like how she looked and she says, "I wanted fresh fish, but I didn't want it this fresh."
Oh, fucking jokes, man.
And then the movie ends with the two fat guys chasing after the dads because they've become women. And that's the movie, everybody.
Indeed it is.
Roll credits.
Thank you for joining us on our summer sequel month. How do you think recommendations?
No.
Oh my God, Hughes, you better fucking not. You
Michael
better
dive
There is
across this
one.
table.
There is one possibility to recommend this movie. If you have friends that have not seen this movie and you want to watch them reel in pain, put this movie on and everybody watch.
Grindbin listeners, do you have friends you want to get rid of for the evening? Do you want people to leave your house? Have they overstayed their welcome? Put on Surf 2.
Would you say, Mike, this is the worst movie we've covered?
Well, I got through it. I didn't stop in the middle.
I watched this in one watch, which Devil Doll from Hell was 2 or 3 watcher.
Oh, this took me 2.5 days.
Oh God.
No, this is it. This might be worse than Tentacles to me. This might be worse than Lunch Wagon. I'm gonna chain man to a fucking chair and make him watch this shit.
Wow.
How do you think? You guys hear that sound?
No, I don't, Mike.
What's that sound?
How do you think? How do you think Bobby and DeVito fit in this? They'd probably be at that beach party, right?
I think they would dress like David Bowie and try to get with the zombie girls.
And I think that in trying to get with these zombie girls, Bobby is horrified as the zombie girls begin eating parts of the van.
Versus carburetor.
Yeah, they're drinking the water out of the waterbed.
I actually think that Bobby just drove off a fucking cliff. Like, I think he saw what was going on.
You want no part of this?
He was like, you know what? The world's changed, and just took a hard right.
And then we just smash cut to a fat man's asshole.
Well, actually, the joke is he takes a hard right into the beach party, and instead of landing on anybody, he just lands in a fat man's asshole.
This is like Cemetery Man panning out to the snow globe. Yeah. This whole movie has taken place in a fat man's asshole.
Yeah, this whole movie took place in McDorfus's asshole. It's never. It was a dark cavern in there. I've never seen that far into a man's rectum.
I'm so glad we only have to cover these movies every 6 or 7 months.
You know, you get them. By the way, somebody said we should do something at the end of the year where we do the best and the worst Grindbin movies. Boy, do we have a first ballot Hall of Famer right here, guys.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think we do.
Well, this and Tentacles came out in the same year for the podcast. No, for the podcast.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
no, the Tentacles is 70 something.
I'm surprised.
77.
I'm surprised movies were ever made if they came out the same year. Like, I'm surprised the industry didn't just say, you know what, just pack it in.
That's it. There are no more movies. Burn the studios down.
Yep. So thanks again for joining us on the Grindbin and welcoming to our summer sequel month, the first of 4 weeks where we will discuss all sequels all month, starting with the movie that has no fucking sequel, It's just its fucking self.
And then maybe a movie that is a prequel.
We'll get to that.
This is a whole mess. This is a whole mess of a month. You know what I mean? I'm really regretting this.
We're off to a bad start.
I'm glad that we did this one first.
Yeah.
Like, just get the shitty one out of the way.
I think we'll have fun with the other ones.
Oh, boy. Please, if this is the first episode of Grindbin you've ever listened to,
go back.
It only gets worse.
This episode does not necessarily represent the views and opinions of the Grindbin.
It's all Chris Mann's fault. That's what I'm going to say.
A good first episode
Is that our
for
hashtag,
you.
Blame Man?
Blame Man.
Yes, everybody, tweet us for this episode, Blame Man.
If you've watched this
That's
film,
2 N's.
it's hashtag Blame Man.
2 N's, MANN. So you can email me at grindbin@gmail.com. You can go to our website, grindhousefilm.com. You can find us on Facebook, The Grindbin Podcast, Twitter, we're at GrindPod. We're on Instagram and all sorts of stuff. Hughes, you want to plug anything?
There's a Grindbin voicemail somewhere that you have?
Yeah, whatever. We're not leaving it for this one.
We'll do that on a better episode.
Bobby?
I got nothing to plug myself. Just
Somebody can end the episode.
I'll do it.
By the way, just so you know in the future, if you ever want to end an episode, just say it. I'll fucking end in the middle of an episode.
If we ever to go.
Why do you tell us that after we're fucking an hour and 42 minutes into this?
Oh, good. This is going to be a short episode.
I have someone wants to talk to you after this episode. Okay, so let me end this real quick.
Yeah, no, but hold on. I just want to set the rules. If at any moment
we can pull the ripcord on that episode,
you can fucking do it.
Bobby,
yeah.
Say something.
You can crash this car.
That's fantastic.
Like
we can make a hard right with the straight arrow.
Yeah, a hard right is what we'll call it.
We're gonna code hard right.
Yeah. Hashtag hard right. If you ever see a Grindbin uploaded and it's only 40 minutes, you know what the drill is.
Someone took a hard right. Someone went soft and took a hard.
At any moment, somebody could say the line, and the episode will end. We'll all go home. And that's that.
It's like that Monty Python sketch where they get to John Cleese. He just goes, "This is ridiculous," and he just gets up and leaves.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh boy, Bobby, shit in that sandwich.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team.
But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Spooky got no real coach.
Hello, kiss the